We have quite the party here for you guys this morning. Our program has expanded and you're in for a treat. So for those of you joining us live, welcome. I know we've got several on Zoom joining us. We've got several watching on the broadcast on our Facebook page. Let me give a huge shout out to Scott Van Pelt, my master coordinator, for helping pull this all together for me and for us as OTG in putting together this science luncheon that we like to bring to you guys on a monthly basis. And you're going to want to go grab pen and paper if you don't have it all already, because you're going to be writing hand notes. You know what I'm talking about if you don't have something to write on. So get excited, clear your schedule for the next half hour. We'll probably run over with some Q&A. So let's jump right in. We have some special guests, as you guys can see, hopping on, but main program here is one of my favorite humans with the company. When I saw him for the first time on stage, I felt the energy radiating from him, all love and light and positive vibes, right? And I went, that guy, I could follow to the moon. So today we're going to be talking with Steve Hatchett about the Renu Spa in the US and the launch that is happening for a brand rep preview on Monday. So it is coming fast and furious. You guys have gotten a lot of information, but we're going to pull it all together for you here today and get questions answered. If you have questions that haven't been answered, you could message me on Facebook. I'll be fielding those as we go. I've got a few of them put together. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to this incredible man that is going to help put together these pieces for you, our Executive VP, Chief Product Officer, Steve Hatchett. Take it away.
Thanks, Sierra. It's so nice to be with all of you. It's so great to be with everyone who's out there. I guess there's a lot being on Facebook Live, and Joe was really confused because he was like, who is this wonderful person that Sierra's talking about? And I'm like, Joe, come on. You got to smile once in a while, Joe. I'm just so excited to have with me Dr. Joe Chang. I said, if this gets heavy, I got to make sure that Joe is here to make sure that he can provide all the backup from a PhD technical standpoint, because we have, Dr. Sierra Dedecker here. I mean, we've got to make sure this is fully vetted and make sure that we have all the science, and Joe's ready to go on that. And we also have with us a special guest with us, Steve Powell. Steve Powell is just simply amazing. He is the engineer behind the design of all of our existing devices, and he's kind of this quiet person who sits there behind all the pomp and circumstance, but he's really the brains behind the technology that we've implemented here, following Joe's guidelines, direction, and science through success and so forth. So excited to have both of them. So you now have the engineer, you have the scientist, and then you have, unfortunately, me, but I'll try to do the best I can. But I'm excited to be with you today, and it's easy to be passionate about Nu Skin. It's so fun to be with everyone here in this group. Let's take you right into the presentation, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this. Does everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay. Next week is a big week, and this is something we've been working on. Joe's been working on this product, he said to me, roughly since he's come to Nu Skin. And so it's fun to have Joe be here to talk a little bit more about the science and where his thought process came from. For this, we'll get to hear from Joe on that. He'll also be able to take some questions and so forth. And he represents, and Steve represent, over 75 scientists all over the world who are helping us pull these technologies together and make sure we have the best products. So with that said, I want to start right here, because that's where the foundation of this device comes from. We want to make sure that everything we do at Nu Skin, specifically at a product level where Joe and I and Steve and the team get together, is that we are committed to this. If it doesn't fit this, then we're not doing it. So if you look at the Renu Spa and what it potentially can do, and this huge launch, potentially going to be one of the biggest launches in the history of the United States, which we didn't even know if we'd be able to do it because we had to wait to get approval from our local government authority here in the United States. But there was a lot of people who were betting against us, but never bet against Joe Chang and Steve Powell. Let's put it that way. They came through in spades and were able to get approval right before Thanksgiving with the support of Buck and Justin and Kathy and the entire team there in the United States. It's been fantastic, and we're ready to go. So there's an amazing regulatory team. But why did we spend so much time, so much effort, so much money on developing something over the last 20 plus years? And it's this: our mission, simply put, is to be a global force for good. And I hope that's your message. But it's how are we delivering on that mission? And it's by empowering people. You guys know I'm a big fan of Empower Me. We'll get into that a little bit in a second, but empowering people to improve lives with innovative products, rewarding opportunities, and an enriching culture. And why I bring this up right at the get-go is because you have to be core in your foundational guidelines. Why are we here? What are we doing? And this is what we believe. And there's a lot of companies, and you can be part of a lot of companies, but there's very few companies who are committed to this, and not just saying it, but doing it. And what I say doing it is when I've been in your homes, or I've been on a Zoom call, or I've been in your in private meetings, or wherever we've been in the world, you live this, you breathe this. And so now you get to share some products that do it too, and you have for many years in many cases, and now we're going to expand upon that. So I'm really excited about this and enabling you to empower people right from the get-go. You know what's interesting? I was thinking about this the other day. There are very few people who have an opportunity to share products like this. There's just, when you think about it, there's a lot of people who are doing different things in life, but very few people have the ability to share this. And this is completely blue ocean. This is not red ocean. This is like brand new technology, kind of like when you think back to the scanner, when you think about the age-lock science, when you think about where we started with LifePack, where we started with all these amazing products that we've developed over the years. And I've had the good fortune of being associated with Nu Skin now for 31 years and coming up on my 32nd year next year. And it's just a thrill of my life to be with a company that's so committed to products and doing what's right. I want to talk about the world we live in right now, and 8 billion people around the world, and the vast majority of them, almost the overwhelming majority of them, are right here. They're right here on this phone. And you can connect with people in a way you've never been able to do before. And we're evolving, we're getting better. But these are the three components that really drive this business. Number one, what Joe just talked about, products that make a difference. And then having this powerful social connection. You want to be able to leverage your time so you can help as many people as possible. And quite frankly, you just can't be everywhere at all at once. So what I think digital does, although sometimes it's nicer to be in person, it enables you and empowers you to be able to connect with people where you wouldn't be able to do it otherwise, and send a message, send information, provide context, provide the opportunity for people to be empowered for life through Nu Skin. And you can do it through this powerful social connection, whether it's in person or via apps. And these digital tools, they're just getting smarter. I want to show you, and I've shown this so many times, I try to show this every time, because for me, every time I see this list, it just blows me away. Joe, you want to take them through why having these studies is so important for our technology?
Yeah, really, at the end of the day, I mean, this really what Steve is showing on this particular slide, a series of papers. And importantly, these are all peer-reviewed articles, scientific articles that we have published in journals, around the world. And it really gives us a sense that the science that we do is validated. And that's important insofar as, it's an objective assessment and an opinion on what we do, the type of science that we do is credible. And this validation gives us a really high level of confidence that we're on the right track and so on. And really the important question every time when Steve shows this slide to me, I really want to make sure that I'm going to give him an exam that he has read all these articles, because, it keeps on scrolling, and you can imagine the number of papers that we have published on all our products and the science behind it. It's gratifying and illustrates the power, if you will, of the scientific team that we have here in Nu Skin to bring you the best products possible that will deliver meaningful value and benefits. So
I love that, Joe. Sarah, I mean, don't you agree? I mean, isn't this one of the key reasons why you and Paige are in the business?
Absolutely. Yep. That's what I was going to say. I'm like, this is the reason why, when I took a look at it as a clinician, I jumped on board, and why it attracts so many other people that are looking for this type of evidence-based medicine and how to change lives. Yeah, absolutely.
The funny thing is, if I was to let this go, we'd be here for hours. But what's crazy about this is, see, a lot of people don't know this, but because of my history and background, I've helped a lot of companies, and I've sat down with their science teams to try to help them with their products and business over the many, many years I've been doing this. And like, they don't even have one study. And these are companies that are 100 million, 200 million, billion. They don't have they leverage other people's studies and raw materials to try to like put these things together. You walk into New Skin and like literally they have thousands and thousands of studies saying, I'm sure that's what the science, the hypothetical science would say is true. Let's validate it and make sure it's true. And that's the big difference. And that's why I said, man, there is really, I have not seen personally anybody else in our space that goes the level of validating that the product is safe and effective and does what we say it's going to do, as opposed to just saying, I'm sure it probably helps. So anyways, we'll go on, but I really just appreciate, Joe, what you and your team and continuously do. It's just amazing. So sometimes it's hard to explain the science. We're not always doctors like you, Sierra. We can't just like, everybody doesn't know this. And so the reason I bring this up is we set ourselves up for Renu Spa and the launch that's coming up, which we're so excited about, is we're getting better. This is future state, and we're getting so close on this. I can't wait till we launch it in 2024. This will be available, and we're so excited. But not everybody's Joe Chang. So if you have science and you have all these studies and you want to share them with people, that they're relevant, that the product is relevant to the products, it's relevant to what we do. But I've watched as individuals have shared the products, and I hear what they say and some of the claims they make, or some of the rationale. You can tell it's kind of like that game of telephone where somebody's told somebody who's told somebody who's told somebody who's told somebody. And when you hear the final version of it, you're like, whoa, no, it doesn't have anything to do with that, but that's a cute story, you know? And so how do you get to the essence of what we do? And so we're designing, and we're in the final stage of this, because you can imagine with translation, you can imagine with claims, you can imagine with cross-border issues where you have markets that can say one thing and another thing, and how do you share stuff in the right way and so forth. It's been a lot more complicated than we ever imagined, but we wanted to give it to you to empower you to be able to share the science. So essentially, says, I want to know more information about carotenoids. Well, here's what I know just a little bit, but who can tell you better than Dr. Joe Chang? And so then you have Dr. Joe Chang, and there's this little clip that comes over and says, oh, you want to talk about carotenoids? What is the difference between collagen, and I'm going to go to the local store and buy a collagen, and why do I want this specific collagen? And then Joe actually breaks it down for you in the simplest terms and says, in essentially 1 minute, this is why it's different. And whenever somebody hears Joe explain the difference of the combination of, like, for instance, carotenoids and phytoceramides, and being able to understand why that makes a difference, and the type of collagen we use at which ratios, and why that's beneficial to the skin and how that generates collagen production. I mean, it's like a game changer, as opposed to saying, yeah, so like, you like collagen, here's a collagen product. Well, what's the molecule size? Don't know. How does it coact? You know, what's the metabolism of action on this? Well, it does stuff. So like, try it and see if you like it. I mean, this actually gives you the information you have. So once you have that information, the whole goal with Empower Me is now we have all of our friends around the world, and now you share that with them, and it's simple. And you just help them, you empower them with clinically researched data from our PhD to be able to share it with all of your friends and family around the world. And so you now have that availability. So that's a future state. We're so excited about unveiling this in 2024. And there's a lot of work that's been going on this. And so now we can have access to Joe and his team of scientists 24/7. So we're gonna get right into it and talk to you about all the good stuff about Renu Spa, okay? So there's 3 aspects. Remember I talked about the iPhone? And you talk about what this product does. It's really quite amazing. It's seriously, it's quite amazing, because we didn't just go after one thing. We went after 3 very specific things. And we wanted to be able to say, because you have products that are already out there that can do certain functionality, but we've never really ever focused on having something that can do 3 functional things: revitalize our appearance, restore our well-being, and refresh our body. And this is the first time ever in the history of the company that we actually can do 3 very specific functions. Joe, did you want to, kind of give your background as to why you did it this way and why it's so important people understand the value of this?
Yeah. Well, Steve, you sort of mentioned or hinted at the fact that the idea itself, has been in my mind for, since I joined Nu Skin, which was more than 20 years ago. And it's only recently where we have the engineering expertise and skills and the technology and the science all coming together in a really great way for us to be able to develop this particular device, right? And on the science side, I'll just speak to that a little bit, is the fact that looking at it, whenever I look at the skin, it always sort of speaks to me insofar as, well, the skin is part of the body. And the question then becomes, if it's indeed part of the body, when you do something positive and beneficial for the skin, surely it must transmit that kind of value to the rest of the body. How do you can actually execute on that idea? It was only in the last 2 or 3 years that we have been able to execute it. And finally, it culminates in this particular device. So, I mean, Steve summarized it really well. I mean, there's a lot of specific benefits you can get, but they all come under this umbrella, which really, it's, for intents and purposes, is a 3R umbrella, right? Revitalize your skin, restore your well-being, which is obviously addressing what's inside your body, and then finally refreshing your body, which is really trying to make your body a little bit more, easier to recover from any sort of exercise or activity that you're doing. So first of its kind, and I think as we go through this, the validation, we talk about validation about what we do and the types of products and those scientific papers. The actual, I think everybody on this call would have known that the reason why we are able to speak to you about this device today is because we got that FDA clearance. It's really meaningful insofar as, I mean, that's another type of validation we are getting from a government agency that regulates these kind of devices and so on. To have that clearance from the FDA, which obviously indicates the science and all the information that we have on this device that we have shared with the FDA is considered to be credible. It's going to be considered safe. You know, we have the data to show it when you use this. And finally, and most importantly, I guess, is the fact that they believe that this device delivers some effectiveness, when you use it. So it's a really good validation in a way. Steve, back to you. I think that's really exciting. I frankly, I think this is the most exciting product that I've ever been involved with. So go ahead.
Wait, Joe, you can't just mumble that out there. You gotta, I want you to say it one more time, because that's like, you can't just say that like that. What'd you say?
Well, I'm sort of like data driven, and in that sense, right? There are very few things that really excite me to a level where literally I feel that we have done something significant and material, and with all our products and so on. I think this one is it's just, yeah. How this first of its kind. Which product can you think of where we are bringing out this device where you can deliver what you can see on the skin in terms of benefits, and at the same time, when you're seeing that, you will also feel better inside with the rest of the body. You're indicating you are also affecting the rest of the body. A truly simultaneously with an integrated device. I mean, I can't think of any product out there that can actually achieve that, and it's because of this incredible team that we have in Nu Skin and the commitment that we have in Nu Skin to bring you a breakthrough product like this, first of its kind.
Joe, I think, and Sarah, catch me on this if I'm not mistaken, but I think he said, if I'm not mistaken, the best product we've ever created. Is that right? Is that what he said?
Mic drop. Yep, that was a quotable.
I want to make sure.
Drop. Yeah, indeed.
There, that's the social post today. Dr. Joe Chang reveals Renu Spot is the best product. That's what I heard. So, anyways, he said that to me so many times, and I'm so excited about it. It makes Steve happy. Now, I talked to you about what can we say from a claim standpoint. Let's have a little fun with this right now. I'll give you the actual information at the end of this, so you'll have it all, but think about it like this, okay? These are the officially approved statements, the benefits, the key features that you can share with people, and you can say it, but you have to say it this specific way, and you have to use the topicals that Nu Skin has, because people misunderstand this, and Sierra, this is so important. I hope people get it. If you use the Renew Spa and you use it with some, I don't know, lotion or some of your friends, best friends, uncles, whatever you want to put in there, I can't guarantee any of these statements. I can't guarantee the outcomes. I can't even guarantee it's safe because I don't know what it is. We haven't done the studies on any of these, what everybody has in their, shower. Hopefully it's all Nu Skin products, but even within the Nu Skin family, you got to be careful. So my point is simply this, is that the Renew Spa is such a powerful device, but the power isn't just the device. It's with the topicals. And the combination, the 1-2 punch of the topicals in combination with the Renew Spa is the difference. You do something else, you do some other topical, you're at your own risk, okay? So I'm not saying it's risky or there's a safety issue. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we haven't done the study to verify and we have no idea what product you're using. But we do know about every single product we've done here at Nu Skin, and we're so excited about the results we've got. Now think about this. If you think about revitalize your appearance, what does that mean? Well, let me give you exactly, I'll read it verbatim. It says, helps visibly contour and reduce the appearance of dimples for a smoother, radiant look. Now think about this if you're an FDA person and you're considering this as a medical device and you're thinking about it about skin and what it's going to do and so forth. And I'll have that potentially be available to us to be able to share with you is massive. To talk about it like that is very, very clear. I hope you're getting a visual of what that looks like. Helps visibly contour and reduce the appearance of dimples for a smoother, radiant look. Then number 2, helps visibly tone and sculpt the skin. Okay. Number 3, helps visibly firm and tighten for a more youthful appearance. Now, again, when you're talking US and being a medical device, I mean, this doesn't typically go on. You have a very specific directions for use, and it's very simple, but this goes a little bit deeper. Now, let's talk about the overall restore your well-being. This is what gets us so excited because we're sitting here saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're finally in a position we're going to be able to share with people a product that actually doesn't just help from a topical from the outside in, but from the inside out. And so it's designed to provide a quote unquote spa-like experience to lift mood, improve overall feelings of well-being. I know it's soft, but just hang in there with me, and help you look and feel better. Okay. So this is big. I mean, you can say it. Now, there's a lot of reasons why that's happening. That's a very generalized statement, but it's a very powerful statement because we deliver on everything. We can't say this unless this delivers that. There's a lot of people who say things like that, but this actually delivers this experience. In fact, I was in Korea and I was doing a presentation and I was talking to, I think there was 4,000 leaders there. And we were having a great visit and discussion. It was one-on-one with all these, one on 4,000 or whatever it was. But we were having kind of this discussion. We had this press person coming in and talking about things, getting all excited. They wanted me to do an interview and that sort of thing. And I said, nah. I said, we're not going to do an interview, but I'd like to talk to all the leaders here in Korea. And then I actually saw there was this bed. And it was really cool because they were actually showing, they called it the well morning is what they called it, like good morning, and that's what they call it, well morning. And I said, well, this is really cool. And there was this wonderful leader who was laying down and she was doing a selfie on the bed with 2 of her friends, and they were in their, I don't know, they were over the age of 60. I'm not sure exactly what age they were, but they were over the age of 60 and having a lot of fun, taking selfies and doing fun stuff on this bed. Just like it was this presentation that they had done. This is in this big, big theater. And so then other people were trying it, putting it on their bodies and doing these little selfies as well, doing different things. And I went over and I do what I do for my wife almost every night, not every night, but almost every night. And I put it on her feet. And I got a little sample here. And until she goes to bed, yes, it has, I won't go into all this stuff that she's got going on, but I take these little nodes and I apply it to the arches of her feet and every spot on her foot. I do a 5-minute application on both feet, as long as I have the energy to do it. So sometimes I go 2 minutes, I have to be honest, but most of the time I do 5 minutes. And like, it's a whole different ball game for her, for her ability to feel in the morning what that just said. Basically providing you to lift mood, improve overall feelings of well-being, and help you look and feel better. I mean, that's what she feels like in the morning. And that's just the feet, okay? And then you start going to targeted areas on your body that are having challenges for whatever reason, and now you're going to a whole different place, right? I mean, you're really helping this well-being, and there's a reason that's happening. There's a physical thing that's happening that Joe and Steve and the team have designed. So it's super exciting. So, and then I'll go into a couple more things, and I'll get moving on this. But when we talk about this refresh your body, I use this every single day. And the reason I do is because it's for me, I want to loosen up my body from a standpoint. This is how I use it, so forth. So it's designed to help your body feel refreshed and relaxed and provide a smooth, comfortable massage while contributing to skin stimulation. I'll let Joe talk about skin stimulation and what that means in the context of what we're talking about today. But for me, before I go work out, I love to just do a quick, comfortable massage and to be able to be in a position where I can go and feel ready for the workout and everything's kind of loosened up and so forth. And I'm ready to go. I still do some stretches and some other stuff. But my point is I go work out. And then post-workout, I want to do another massage. And it's just a quick, simple 2 to 5 minutes in the targeted areas or my entire body, depends on what's going on. And it's totally changed everything. Totally changed everything for me in terms of the way in which I'm able to do what I do on a daily basis. So that's that piece on refresh your body. The last thing is, I just want you to know from our standpoint, we hear from you all the time. Those people who have tried this and they're saying, but can't you say this? And can't you say that? I'm just saying, you're probably having a great experience and that's awesome. That is fantastic. But stay within the guidelines of what we have in our PDP and then let people have an experience. I haven't had one person who's tried this product who said, no, I don't get it. Doesn't work. I mean, everybody sends me a text like literally the day after or 2 days after and says, OMG, which is gosh, by the way. And it says, basically, this has changed. And then they tell me what happened. And I'm like, well, I don't know how. Okay, I'm not going to speak to it, but that's great that you had that experience. And I'm just saying you're going to help empower a lot of people through all of this. This is the design and the reason why this is Blue Ocean. There is nothing like this. These are patented features, unique features. Nobody can get this anywhere else other than through our Nu Skin family. Okay, and I mean that when I say that. This is not available anywhere else. You can't get it. So, Joe, do you and Steve want to take us through this amazing technology, the design, the adaptive current, these IO insights, why that's important, the metallic nodes? This is kind of a brief summary that we've talked right here. We'll go into the specific details of this, but maybe, Steve, if you want to start off with the design and how we built it.
You bet. Thanks, Steve. And excited to be with everybody. Sarah, thanks for putting this together. I'll do my best to get somewhat technical, but I know this is getting translated in real time, so I'll try to keep it a little more simplified as we go through it. But as we look at the hardware or the design of it, there's really 4 key things that we're going to offer in this that are just not being offered in any other microcurrent device that's out there. And so I'm going to touch on all 4 of them. So the first one is the design here, which you can see. Okay. So Steve held that up. I don't know how many people have been able to see it or hold it, but I'll go through some of the things that we put in the device that are truly a premium experience on it. And so you can see that it has LED indicators that will help to demonstrate the time. As you set timers, you can set between 1 and 5 minute treatments. And we have a routine library, which I'll talk about in a minute. That'll help to keep a real-time indicator of what's going on inside the device. As far as the design itself, you'll have to hold it to get it, right? But when you hold this, it is truly, truly a premium feel in this. So what we're trying to get is something that when you touch this, when you hold it for the first time, not only does it feel really high end, it feels amazing in the hand. Okay, the ergonomics on this thing is incredible. And we'll talk about that as far as the massage in a minute. But the feel of it, what you're really feeling is what's called a liquid silicone medical grade sleeve that's on there, and it has a premium coating over the top of the device. That's what you're really feeling on top of the device. And then as far as the nodes, we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But it also has a speaker in there that gives indicators as far as when you're pairing, when you're using, if you're moving too fast, there's indicators that are inside the device that will notify you via sound. There's just some super innovations that have been put into this product that just don't exist out there. And so I'll talk a little bit about the tech and the hardware inside of what's driving this. But in order to have a truly premium, one-of-a-kind treatment experience, you also have to have a premium one-of-a-kind digital experience that goes with it, which means the hardware needs to talk to the software, and it needs to be able to have this perfect fluid dynamic between it in order to control these. So a few things about the actual current, the adaptive microcurrent that is applied through the Renu Spa. We adjust the current 84 times per second when you use this device. So the device has a processor that's continually monitoring the resistance on the skin. So as it's moving, the resistance obviously moves. And one mistake that I believe other devices have made in the past of our competitors is one size does not fit all. Everybody's different. Everybody's skin's different. Where you live is different. It could be humid. It could be dry. There's all kinds of differences between the treatments. The topicals could be applied more thick, more thin. There's so many variables that go in there, and having a device that can adjust in real time to the exact microcurrent that you need at that exact moment is key. And so we have a really robust processor inside the Renu Spa that adjusts the current that it senses in the resistance 84 times per second for every user. So that's up to 25,000 adjustments that a typical user can plan on receiving in one single 5-minute treatment. That is a ton of adjustments, okay? Not only is that a key innovation that we have in the Renu Spa, we also are introducing a proprietary tech that we have some IP we have filed around, which is called our Comfort Control Tech. And what this does that no device does on the market is as it's watching the resistance, your current could be jumping between levels. So 84 times per second or 25,000 times in a single treatment, it can be moving. And in order to do that, it needs to be safe. We want to have it be comfortable, right? And for some people, when a current jumps from low to high, you could feel that. That could be tingling. It could feel like a little bit of a zap. It depends on the person and how sensitive they are to it. A tech that we introduced for the first time, never done before, is this Comfort Control Tech that will monitor every single jump when it jumps 84 times per second. And if the jump is something that it deems to be that you would be noticeable or feel or uncomfortable, it will ramp the current in that time space just for you based on what it sensed from where you started, where it needs to go to keep it optimal for you. This is something that's never been done in microcurrent before. This is unique to us. It's the first time it's ever been done, and will give a truly unique, premium, comfortable treatment that has not been done in this space before. Okay, so that's the tech on the microcurrent. Steve, let's jump to the next thing that we're offering here, which is the digital side, the insights and tracking. And so the first thing is to talk about the pairing experience, okay? When you get the device, there's a QR code on there. You can snap it. It will download there. You can pair it up. This takes seconds to pair. We've had tens of thousands of pairings already on the device. 0 complaints on the pairing process. It is a truly premium experience. What we do on ours would be considered on the higher end of how a device pairs. You don't need to start pressing Bluetooth buttons and all kinds of weird things. You'll just power on the device. Vera will see that there's a device in the room. It will grab it. It will pair it. It takes probably 2 seconds to do this. And if there's a firmware update, it will download it. This is a truly premium. This is like how some of the higher end devices would do this type of pairing experience. That is available in the Renu Spa right now out of the box when you get it. Some of the things that we're offering on the digital side is our routine library. Right now out of the box, there are 15 routines that you can choose from different wellness to beauty benefits, depending on what you're looking to target, that you can select. It will tell you how to run it, and it will give you like demonstrations of how to actually do that. There's 15 of them that are available in there right now. And of course, those who have seen the Lumi Spa, we have our usage score and tracking, which are similar to what we've done before. Those are also available in Renu Spa. So when we say available, these aren't features that are coming out soon. These are available right now. When you get the Renu Spa and launch them up, all this is available right now. It's in there ready to go. So we were pretty far down the development path, and you've already seen a ton of things that we're doing that no one's ever done before. But we want to take it a step further. Since it's a connected device, would there be a way to actually show the user that the device does exactly what we claim it does? Okay, no one has ever done that before. In order to do that, you need to be able to stream the treatment data to the app. And so we hooked up what you have in front of you, which we call Empower Insights. And I don't know why it's not looping, Steve, but you guys probably saw the animation of why of the graph of why it's running there and what you can see on there, but I'll talk through that. But this is also available right now. When you guys fire this up, this is available, never done before in the industry. Empower Insights is real-time treatment data of exactly what the device is doing on the skin at any given moment and logging the data and stats for you in real time. Or in other words, you can see exactly what it's doing. No one has done this with microcurrent before. What this actually entails in order to do that is a hardware and processor that can actually stream this crazy fast in order to do that. So I talked about how the device can adjust its resistance 84 times per second. In addition to that processing power, the device live streams this to your app at 156 data points every second of what it's actually seeing in the resistance. And we use complex algorithms in order to calculate that and stream that. And when it gets to Vera, we use even more complex proprietary algorithms to interpret it, okay? And Steve, I don't know if your cursor is on there, but you can highlight over the boxes as we go through them. But I'll walk through what is available right now when you guys fire this up with your new spots. The first graph, which is called the microcurrent, is a real-time live stream of the amount of microcurrent that is being delivered. And we're talking, 156 data points per second. This is like real time. It's like immediate. It doesn't have like a 20-second lag. It's like immediate. Like if you move the device, you'll see it immediately represented in the graph. So the first one is the microcurrent being represented in the graph. The second one you'll see, which is the waveform. This is probably my favorite one. This is crazy. So the people who are technical, hopefully you'll geek out on this like we do with my team, okay? Normally, to measure a waveform, you need what's called an oscilloscope, which is usually like an $8,000 to $12,000 piece of industrial equipment that measures the actual electrical waveform pulse that's being generated. We've now put that inside the Vera app to where the data comes in and it interprets it to the exact pulse width, length, height, duration in real time, so you can see exactly what that waveform looks like on the skin. Once we put this together, we actually put it head to head with an industrial oscilloscope and measured it to be within 95% accuracy of what you see in the app. No one's ever done this before. Truly a premium experience. We hope you guys love that. It's a lot of fun to be able to see that. The next one is called the comfort events. When I talked about the resistance being monitored, and if it ever sensed the jump might be something you would feel, we actually put a counter in there so you can see how many times that will happen for you. So it's a proprietary tech that no one's ever done before, but you can actually see it in real time with your own eyes, what it does and what it looks like when that event is thrown. Some people will maybe have 1 to 3 events at a treatment. Other people could have up to like 20 or 30 of these events in there, right? There's things you can do to minimize them, but it's your tech, it's your treatment, it's totally personalized. There's no right or wrong number to it. You can just see and verify with your own eyes what's happening there. And then, of course, the microcurrent adjustments. Sorry, Steve, do you want to say something?
No, just quickly, I just want to say one thing. Number one is comfort events doesn't mean that you had a bad experience and it corrected itself at your expense. What Steve did here was he made sure that the device, to be safe and effective, when it wasn't getting, for instance, enough serum, or it's trying to drive too much of the current into the body for whatever reason, it's having some challenges as you're putting this through and so forth. It starts to ramp up the energy, and it's signaling it, saying, "Hey, we're having to put a lot of energy into this," and so you sometimes will get what's called an arc. But to enable this so it doesn't have any impact on human life, obviously from empowerment, because people think electricity and its problem. Our bodies are electricity. Okay, we have electrons running through our entire body. Our bodies are filled with electrons. So want to make sure it's clear. This comfort event, you don't even realize it happened because it's so simple and so easy. And it basically, Steve rewrote the technology so that whenever it would get even close to that, it would adjust, bring it back down, and it knows that happened. The only reason we put it in there is just so you know, to kind of give you a sense of, oh, maybe there's not enough product, or maybe there's other things. I got to be using this a little bit more slowly, and you kind of get into a rhythm and so forth, so you can kind of see how that happens. And once people use it, but it doesn't have any impact on the individual. And quite honestly, it's pretty cool. So, and then you can go to the microcurrent adjustments there, Steve. But I just want to make sure everybody knew that. So.
No, great. Yes, thanks, Steve. So the microcurrent adjustments, you probably guess what that one is. That's an actual real counter. It's not It's not make believe or fake. That's a real counter of every adjustment it is seen that it's making in the skin in real time. Everybody will have a counter like that so they can see, but that's just how fast this thing is processing and computing. And then the next box down, the product meter, which is pretty fun. It is doing a real-time measurement of the serum. I don't know if quality is the right word, but as the serum starts to dry, it will let you know when you should apply more serum. It's actually monitoring how well the serum and device are performing together. And of course, serum will start to work in as it should and dry as it should. This will actually give you a monitor, and it's quite snappy. As you move to a more dry area, it would be instantaneous. You'll be able to see that. No other company has done that before with microcurrent, where they've been able to measure that. So that's a pretty fun one that we've had in there. We've had a lot of great response and reviews on that. And the last one is the actual movement. Those are the XYZ. That's almost getting too geeked out on this thing, but it's actually doing a live stream of the actual movement that it's sensing in there. And we won't get into the details, but we may have some fun things that we're going to do in the future with that. But as the device moves, it senses that, and you can see that. But hopefully, Sierra, people will love this. But it's never been done before. But what better way to demo a product for somebody and prove right on their skin at that exact moment, as you move it, they'll see the data in real time, totally precise, completely accurate. Emphasizing just how good and accurate the claims are on this device. They can see it in real time and do this. So we hope people will love this. This has never been done. It's quite a premium experience. There's a lot of people involved to get these algorithms. We own the tech and how this is calculated. This is unique to Nu Skin, but available next week when Renu Spa launches. They'll have this out of the box. And then, Steve, there's one more thing. The next slide when we talk about the probes. I'll touch.
Can I add something on this one? Because
yeah, please, Joe.
Yeah. I think this is not just to make this demonstration. It's not just about a cool factor here, Sarah, right? It has a purpose to all this engineering madness. The purpose is to make sure this is very much analogous to the biophotonic scanner that we had developed before. You know, when we can show to answer a very simple question, because most consumers, if you will, and so on and so forth, never realize will come back and say, I don't feel anything on the supplement side, right? So with this one, with this particular visual manifestation of what the device is doing, it has a purpose. And that is that, first of all, this current, this microcurrent technology that we're talking about is actually working, right? And also that in order for it to be working optimally, it has to be in contact with the skin. And you cannot allow the gel to dry out. Okay? So there's really a lot of benefits or value to show somebody using it. And first of all, to show that you're using the device optimally. And secondly, like the biophotonic scanner, showing that the device is delivering some efficacy benefits. So that's really, at the end of the day, with all these kind of data, it's not just data for the sake of data. It's data driving towards a demo that is being translated to a meaningful benefit. That's what I hope everybody gets out of this. It's an incredible achievement by Steve Powell and everybody involved in this to be able to translate, you know, that technology into something that is meaningful.
And let me say this too, in those, you know, where people would go, is it working? You know, in previous devices, you guys have added the sound too, and then to be able to show objectively, not only is it working, but here's how it's adapting to your body is brilliant.
To that point, and my presentation just stopped for a second. I'll get it back up, but I was in New Zealand with a bunch of leaders, and we were talking about this product, similar to what we've talked about our spas in the past, and to your point, Sierra. And she's been a seasoned veteran. She's sold tons of spas in the market that she was in. I mean, like tons. She was like one of the top leaders, and that's why they introduced me to her. And she was listening, and she had her daughter with her, and she was listening, and it was just really kind of fun. And then I started to show her what Steve just showed me, and she's like, and she like stopped and like grabbed the phone and like grabbed the device, and she said, oh, wait a second, you can actually now show like what's really happening, and everybody's experience is different every single time. And I said, absolutely. And her brain was just like, oh, now wait, say it again. So I go into somebody's home, I'm sitting with somebody at the airport, I'm talking to a friend, we're at lunch. You're like, literally, I can show them what's happening on their skin. I said, yep. And she's like she couldn't believe it. She's like, are you sure? So then she actually took it. She started putting it on her arm, and then she lifted it off to see if it would like keep going without, it's like it's a video or something like that. And it like immediately shut off. And then she kind of go really fast, and this started going really fast. And she's like, you just see her eyes just getting really big. And she goes, oh my goodness, this is a game changer. I can now do demonstrations and see people and talk to them and then provide the science and the real data behind this, as Joe said. It's a game changer. And this is somebody who's done devices through their entire life. So, I mean, it is so fun to see that from my perspective, at least, to be able to be in that position. So I just wanted to say that I love it. I think it's great, but I also think it's going to be great for you because you can actually, people want evidence that things are working. And so from my standpoint, that's exactly what this is going to do.
So the last thing, Sierra and team, is the actual probes on the bottom of the device, something that hasn't been done in the industry before. And they have a different look to them. People will obviously notice that right away, right? They don't look like other probes people have seen on the market before. And it's because we're doing more than just a beauty benefit, right? In order to get the massage aspect of it, you need to have a way that the device can be held ergonomically in multiple areas of the body and also apply a nice massage effect, but not mess with the ability of the microcurrent to move between the probes, okay? And that takes quite a bit of testing and research and trial and error in order to get that just right, that it can feel comfortable, number one, that it's actually effective in the massage and feels good, number two, and still applies the microcurrent exactly how it should move through the skin. So if you can achieve all three of those, you've got a home run. And we've done that through a lot of testing, a lot of clinicals. It's been a lot of fun to see this process come together. But when you guys try this out, you'll see immediately the results. It feels good in the hand. The massage feels amazing, but the current moves exactly how it should, even though the probes are configured differently. So those are really the four techs that we've brought. And of course, there's more, but those are really the high ones. The way that it is built as far as a premium feel on the design, the way the tech actually applies the microcurrent, our digital strategy, and then how the probes actually operate. There's nothing like this on the market. Those are four key innovations that are unique to this device and Nu Skin that we're bringing. We hope you guys love this thing when you get it and try it out. It's a truly premium experience. Steve, that's all I have on those slides. I don't know if there's any other tech things you want to get into. Otherwise, I'll throw it back to you.
Out of time, but I want to make sure Joe had an opportunity to say anything he wanted to add. He kind of added that last little piece. Joe, this is the last slide for this presentation. I've got some other stuff in there, but we're out of time. I just wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to say the last piece on this. And Sierra, just so you know, remember what I said? This is the PDP. So get familiar, as they say, get familiar with this PDP, because down here, product display page, this is what you can say about the product, okay? And this has all the information. So it's what are the restore benefits, revitalize benefits, refresh benefits, the device features, how the app works. And then it goes into this clinical studies where it shows these massive improvements that are happening and why they improved and all these things. This is Joe's evidence that it actually is beneficial to you, and you have this. It's available to you. There's nobody else who's going to be able to share a product like this and then say, oh, and by the way, here's the years and years and millions of dollars that we've done in terms of research to verify that this does everything that we said it's going to do. It also talks about how to use it, what powers it, the skin benefits, all the stuff that goes through it. All those questions are right here. So, I mean, get familiar with this, and that we can talk about. But again, remember, please understand, if you use somebody else's gel or topical, we can't say any of this stuff that's on here, because the reality is that it doesn't work the same. We have no validation on anything else. But Joe, anything else you want to share before we turn it back over to Sierra?
Let me add to that point that Steve just mentioned about the gel, right? We have been focusing a lot on this device, but in order for the microcurrent technology to really be fully optimized and be efficacious, you need the gel. Okay, so that's an important piece to the operational device. That's one point. The second point is there are certain ingredients and certain the contents that we have formulated into this particular gel. It's sort of, they're pretty important. for the overall delivery of benefits, right? And that's another reason why you have to use our gels, if you will, right? Any other gel, yeah, maybe they might conduct a microcurrent, but they're not going to conduct it in the way that we have designed this device to do. And also it's not going to have the ability to have those active ingredients that we have in the gel to work at the same time, okay? Another question that could come up, because I noticed this is being translated. So as you well know, and Steve has already indicated that, is the device is available internationally, right? And you're going to get a question that why are we calling this Renu Spa here? And there's another name that we use in other markets. For intents and purposes, there are no differences between the devices, all right? So they will be performing the same way. And yeah, there might be some slight differences in terms of certain things that we can say for regulatory reasons and so on. But the device itself, inherently, it's the same device. Okay. Then the final point I'd like to leave you with is the fact that we have talked a lot about these 3 R's, restore, recover, or rejuvenate, or whatever. It really drives to a point that this is, again, the first of its kind. It is a device that you can personalize for your benefits. It's almost like a tip of the iceberg on this one that we have not even begin to discover all the other uses that you can do with this particular device, right? There will be some self-discovery that you guys are doing, but really, because of the versatility of this particular device, you can personalize it to your needs, if you will, you know, whether it's a skin need or whether it's a wellness need or which part of the body, the device will be able to help you deliver that particular specific need. So those are really all the points I want to make to after hearing all this other stuff, and give you a sort of a reason why I'm excited is because it's a superstar. It's like, you know, this is really one of those on a basketball team. This would be the Michael Jordan, you know. Thank you.
I love it.
Steve. Yeah.
Let me ask real quick, Joe, because this has come up, and maybe Steve Pell, you've got the answer to this too, because it's kind of a techie piece. With that much adaptation where you can customize a routine, is it okay to be used by, say, husband and wife, or when we're doing demos? Can that be a standalone treatment, or is it kind of adaptive to you through multiple treatments and you should have your own device?
Depends on how much you like your partner, right? So yeah. Personally, I wouldn't share this device with my wife because she has to get her own. I mean, I don't think I have sort of used it, and I use it all the time on myself. Why should I share it with her? So it's a selfish reason, but yeah. But seriously, yeah, you can, obviously.
Sure. Yeah. Another thing on that series is you can also, you have the ability to go and create your own routines, right? And so if you did that, you want to name one after yourself, you know, it's Steve's whatever routine, and then my spouse's whatever routine, right? You could, of course, go do that, right? So it has the ability to do that, of course. But the current is obviously unique to the person. So whatever it's touching, it's reading the resistance of that individual and adjusting to that, right? So you do have the ability to do it in the app if you want to do that.
Yeah. Hopefully what we've given you today has given you food for thought. Hey, look, if you got more questions, we can answer them today, or you can send it to us. We're happy to share the answers with you. We're not hiding anything. We'll give you everything you can that we can provide you. And we can't wait to hear your experiences with that. Joe and I love to hear back how you're using it, how it's helping you, and those types of things. I just love it. But Sarah, I just want to tell you and all the amazing people here on this call, thanks. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for sharing this with the world. Thanks for making it better. Thanks for empowering people to live.